Spider-Man was only trying to heal, but his blood unlocked something ancient. A portal opened, not in space, but in time itself. Thor stepped through and saw a world where Asgard had burned. And Odin was dead by Jane Foster's hand. Loki wore the crown. Earth was enslaved. And the one hero missing from this future? Spider-Man. Because in this timeline, his blood ended the 9 realms. And now, Thor must choose: protect Peter or end him. The wind howled between the shattered buildings of Lower Manhattan. Rain lashed against bent steel and broken concrete. Peter Parker staggered into the remains of an old SHIELD medical bay, one hand pressed to his side, the other clutching a blood-soaked mask. Every breath burned. Whatever hit him back, there hadn't just broken ribs. It had torn something deeper. Jane Foster met him inside. She wasn't Thor anymore, but the lightning in her voice still cracked when she spoke. "You're bleeding too fast," she said. "Lay down now." Peter collapsed on the old med table without argument. His suit was half burned off. Runes flickered along the walls. Asgardian medical tech Jane had modified years ago. She hovered over him, tools clinking. One eye always watching the pulsing crystal orb at the center of the room. It wasn't just any orb. It was the sigil stone, gifted by Odin before he died. A dimensional keystone, locked away beneath Earth for emergencies. It had never pulsed before. Now it glowed. Jane noticed it too. "That's new," she muttered, stepping toward it with surgical gloves still on. "This stone shouldn't react to anything. Unless..." Peter coughed hard, and blood sprayed from his mouth, some of it onto the floor, some of it onto the edge of the stone itself. The crystal flared. A pulse echoed out like thunder, shaking the walls. Runes blazed to life across the ceiling. Machinery sparked. The temperature dropped instantly. Jane dropped her tools. "Peter, what the hell did you do?" "I just bled," he groaned. "Not exactly on purpose." The stone cracked. From within its core, a thin slit of violet light sliced the air. It hovered, humming, a line of energy vibrating like a heartbeat, vertical, jagged. And then it opened. A circular rip in space bloomed wide, revealing not a wormhole, but another reality. Asgardian towers stood ruined under black skies. Stars bent in unnatural directions. A horned figure sat on a throne of blades. Thor burst through the wall, hammer first. Lightning streaked behind him as he landed hard enough to dent the floor. His eyes blazed with fury. That blood should never have touched the 9 gates. Jane raised her hands. "This wasn't intentional. He's hurt, Thor." Thor ignored her. He marched to the portal. "This is no accident. The sigil stone only reacts to blood that sings with destiny, or destruction." Peter pulled himself upright, groaning. "Sorry I bled on your magic rock, big guy." Thor turned. "That magic rock just showed me my father's tomb in a world that does not yet exist." Peter paled. "Wait, what?" But Thor was already staring into the portal. On the other side, something called to him. A hum of familiarity. The scent of scorched bifrost. He took one step forward and vanished. "Thor!" Jane yelled, lunging too late. The portal sealed behind him like a heartbeat closing. Silence. Peter sat back against the wall, wiping blood from his chin. "Okay, I think I just broke the universe." Inside the rift, Thor fell hard onto obsidian ground. Lightning crackled from his chest as he rose, eyes narrowing. This wasn't just another realm. It was a future. The ruined halls around him bore banners of Asgard, but twisted, blackened, melted into walls of iron and sorrow. Skulls were mounted on what used to be statues of the Allfather. The sky was gray fire. Ships hung like carcasses in orbit above. He knew this smell. Post-battle silence. He moved forward. Each step echoed. Asgardians, no, shadows of them, bowed to a figure at the end of the corridor. A throne of flame and bone. And on it, Loki, alive, older, crowned with gold fire, draped in armor bearing Odin's crest. And next to him, standing without emotion, was Jane Foster. Thor froze. Jane looked at him as if he were a ghost. "You shouldn't be here," she said quietly. "You are dead," Thor whispered. You died to save the realms." "I did," she replied, "until the realms became worth ruling." Loki stood slowly. "Welcome, brother. You're just in time to witness the age you allowed to happen." Thor raised Mjolnir. "This is a lie. A trick." Loki smirked. "Isn't everything?" Thor charged. Lightning tore across the black marble. But before Mjolnir could strike, time froze mid-motion, locked by the power of the 9 gates. A booming voice echoed from above. This began with the spider's blood. Thor was hurled back through time. He landed hard in the medical bay, Jane still trying to stabilize the shaking room. Peter now semi-conscious and pale. The sigil stone pulsed weakly beside him. Thor stood trembling. "What did you see?" Jane asked. He looked at her, then at Peter. And for the first time in years, Thor looked afraid. "I saw Asgard burn," he said. "I saw my father dead. I saw you wear the crown that killed him. And I saw the one thread that started it all." Peter tried to sit up. "Me." Thor nodded slowly. "Your blood opened the world route." "The what now?" Peter asked. Thor didn't answer. He stepped forward and looked down at Peter, and clenched his fists. The storm was building again. Jane stepped between them. "Don't even think about it," Thor growled. "If he lives, the realms die." Peter's voice cracked. "Then give me a chance to fix it." Silence. Only the pulsing heart of the sigil stone remained. Thor stepped into the silence of the council chamber, soaked in shadow and regret. The room felt colder than before, not from magic, but from knowing what he had seen. The echo of his future death still clung to his skin like frost. Peter sat on the floor against the far wall, breathing shallow, shirt torn, arms streaked with dried blood. He didn't look like a weapon. He looked like a kid trying not to die. And yet his blood had awakened the world root. "Tell me everything," Jane demanded. Thor didn't blink. In that future, Loki sits on the throne of Asgard. Jane stands beside him, wielding a corrupted Mjolnir forged from Odin's bones. The Bifrost is destroyed. The realms scream in silence. I watched myself die, and I watched it begin with the blood of the spider. Peter lifted his head. "So what, you gonna kill me and call it destiny?" Jane moved between them again. "You saw a future, not the future." Thor gritted his teeth. "I saw a death that echoed backward. My death was written long before it happened. The world root doesn't just show what could be. It anchors what will be." Peter struggled to his feet. "Then let me anchor something better." Before anyone could argue, a deep boom rumbled through the walls. Something ancient stirred in the foundations beneath the med bay. Runes flared again, not from blood this time, but from time itself. Jane checked the readings from the arcane sensor near the sigil stone. "It's not responding to Peter anymore," she said. "It's reacting to something else." Thor turned sharply. What else could it want? Another boom shook the room, this one not magical. Heavy, grounded, real. A wall caved in as a green fist tore through it. Hulk stepped through the rubble. But something was wrong. This wasn't the Hulk they knew. This Hulk stood straighter. His eyes shimmered with golden veins. His skin pulsed like it remembered lightning. And when he spoke, it wasn't a roar. It was calm. "That blood," Hulk said, pointing at Peter, "wasn't just his." Peter blinked. "What? You remember Sokovia?" Hulk continued. "We fought together. I bled. You patched me up." Jane's mouth dropped open. The Sakaar strain. Thor narrowed his gaze. "You carried the parasite." "I thought I'd burned it out," Hulk growled. "But it nested deeper than I knew. When Peter touched my blood, the strain mixed with his DNA. It didn't wake because of his blood. It woke because of ours combined." Jane staggered backward. "You created a hybrid signature. Not just any signature," Hulk added. "You created the key to the 9 gates." Peter's hands trembled. "You're telling me my blood didn't cause the apocalypse. It unlocked the thing that did." "No," Jane whispered. "You unlocked the world root." Thor looked to the sigil stone, which now floated inches above the ground, glowing like a heartbeat gone rogue. "The world root is ancient, older than Asgard. It connects all living realms. If corrupted, it could rewrite everything." Peter stepped forward. "Then let's rewrite it back." Jane snapped toward him. You're not listening. The world root doesn't rewrite. It absorbs. Once awakened, it pulls futures toward itself like gravity. Then cut it off, Peter said. Close the gate. Hulk cracked his knuckles. Or go through it. Thor turned, lightning dancing along his fingers. You don't understand what that means. Peter stood tall. I've had power I never asked for since I was 15. If I'm part of this, then I'm going through. The ground shook again, this time sharper. Something was clawing through time. Jane stared at the wall as it fractured. Not physically, but temporally. A ripple of light burst through the med bay. Loki stepped out. Not the Loki they knew. He wore black gold armor fused with runes of fire and ash. His crown extended backward like dragon horns. In his left hand was a scepter glowing with blood-red light. I warned you, Loki said softly. You meddled with fate. You should have let the spider bleed out. Thor raised Mjolnir. Loki waved his hand. Thor slammed into the wall. Hulk roared and lunged, only to be stopped midair, frozen by some invisible force. Loki's scepter vibrated. You opened the 9 gates, Loki whispered. I simply walked through. Jane summoned her staff. You saw the future too? Loki nodded. I built it. With a snap of his fingers, the room shattered into fragments, space folding like broken glass. Peter stood in the eye of the chaos, frozen, staring at Loki. You don't know me, Peter said. I know enough, Loki replied. You were weak. You were tricked. You gave the root what it wanted. Then I'll take it back. Loki smirked. You can't take back destiny. Peter closed his eyes. The sigil stone pulsed again. As it glowed, his veins lit up golden, laced with a hybrid energy from Hulk and the parasite. Time rippled around him. Reality bent, but didn't break. Loki narrowed his eyes. Jane stepped back. He's sinking with it. No, Hulk said slowly. He's controlling it. Peter lifted his head. I'm not a god. I'm not a soldier. I'm not the future you want. But I'm here. The room snapped back to normal. Loki's illusion cracked. Peter's blood, still warm on the sigil stone, began glowing with a double helix of red and green. Thor stood, bruised but awake. You want to stop this future? Peter nodded. Then we go to the council, Thor said. The elders of Asgard, the mystics of Kumartush, the seers of Wakanda, all of them. Jane looked at Thor. Half of them will want Peter dead. Then we convince the other half, Thor said coldly, that he's the only chance we've got. Peter stepped forward. Let's save the future, together. Loki watched from the dark corner of fractured space, fading like mist, voice echoing one final warning. You're already too late. The chambers of the High Council were rarely opened, not even after Thanos. Not when the Celestials cracked the sky above Earth. But now, with the world root awakened and the 9 gates bleeding time into space, the call had gone out. And they came. Wong from Kumartush, Shuri of Wakanda, seated with a glowing necklace tied to her ancestors. Storm stood beside her, arms crossed, wind humming through her fingertips. Valkyrie descended from New Asgard, face set in stone. Even Captain Marvel hovered in orbit, sending a cosmic projection through the Council Dome's mirror sphere. And at the center, Thor, Spider-Man, Hulk, and Jane Foster. Peter stood still as every eye scanned him. He didn't wear the suit, just a black shirt with dried blood at the collar. His heartbeat was a war drum in his chest. Wong broke the silence. You brought the world root online. Explain. Thor answered. It wasn't intentional. His blood, mixed with banners, reacted with the sigil stone. Storm raised an eyebrow. That stone was buried for a reason. Shuri spoke next. Our archives mentioned the world root once. A living current beneath all time. It binds future to present. To awaken it, Jane cut in. Requires 2 things, a gateway and blood marked by destiny. Wong looked at Peter. That blood now exists. Carol's projection narrowed its eyes. And you want us to let it keep existing? Peter's voice came sharp. You think I wanted this? You think I woke up this morning hoping to open a time bomb buried in Asgard's bones? Silence. Peter stepped forward. I didn't ask to bleed, but I did. And now I'm here, and if you want to fix this, you'll need me. Shuri replied calmly, or we erase the signature. Erase. Jane echoed. Meaning, Wong said flatly, you killed the hybrid. Thor's hand twitched toward Mjolnir. We are not executing a boy because fate showed us a bad dream. Peter looked around. It wasn't a dream. Thor saw the future. Loki on a throne. Jane turned. Asgard dead. I saw it too. Just flashes. And in every version I was gone. Not dead. Erased. And that's when everything collapsed. Shuri leaned forward. You think your absence caused it? I think I'm the variable Loki can't control, Peter said. Wong turned to Jane. You confirmed the hybrid blood activated the world root. Yes. And you believe Loki wants it? Not just wants it, Thor said. He already crossed into the timeline where he rules. He's not guessing. He's building it. Storm narrowed her eyes. Then what's his next move? The ground answered. A pulse slammed through the walls of the dome. Magical wards cracked. Runes failed. Everyone turned. Outside the chambers, in the distance, the 9 gates began to bleed light. Time bled sideways. Shapes flickered in and out of existence. Buildings from future timelines collapsed into ash mid-air. Across the skyline, a new tower formed. Asgardian in design, but crowned with Loki's symbol. Wong rose immediately. He's collapsing futures into this reality. He's not just coming, Jane said. He's merging. Peter's chest tightened. Then we don't have time for a vote. But the council had already split. Storm, Shuri, and Wong gathered into one circle. Valkyrie and Thor into another. The vote was happening silently via mindspeak. Peter could only watch. Thor turned to Jane. What if they choose death? Then we run, she said coldly, and make a new plan. Peter clenched his jaw. No, I stay. Jane snapped. You're not dying because some mystics are afraid of your blood. I'm not afraid to die, Peter said, but I won't run. Not again. The chamber dimmed. Wong stepped forward. The council is divided, but the threat is imminent. There is a third option. Thor raised an eyebrow. Speak. Wong looked at Peter. We let him enter the gate. Jane whispered, alone. Shuri answered, not alone. But first, he must sync completely with the bloodline he carries. Hulk's parasite, Peter's DNA, the world root connection. Storm nodded. If he's going to carry it, he must become it. Peter's stomach flipped. You're saying, I let it take over. No, Jane said. You take control of it first. Before Peter could process that, another boom cracked through the sky. This time louder, closer. Through the glass ceiling, a vision appeared. Loki stood atop his new tower, holding Mjolnir, not Thor's, Jane's. He had taken it. He raised it to the sky, and with a single scream, split the clouds. Lightning tore across every continent. Time rippled again, this time permanently. Cities flickered between future and past. Buildings aged 1,000 years and collapsed. People froze in place, then vanished. The world root was awake and starving. Wong opened a portal. We're out of time. Peter turned to Thor. If I go through that gate, I don't know who I'll be on the other side. Thor placed a hand on his shoulder. Then be who you are now, a man who chooses to fight. Hulk cracked his knuckles. I'm coming too. Jane raised her staff. And me. Wong nodded. We'll hold the timelines together while you're gone. Peter stepped toward the gate as it cracked wider, showing a glimpse of the timeline Loki had infected. Asgard burned. The skies were dark. He looked back once, then stepped into the light, and vanished. The moment Peter stepped through the gate, reality bent like glass under pressure. He landed hard, on ground that pulsed with veins of glowing gold and red. Not stone, not dirt. World root. It wasn't a place. It was a living structure, endless and eternal, tangled like a neural network between realities. Above him, fractured timelines hovered in broken shards, Earths that never survived, Asgards that never formed, realms ruled by war, death, silence. Jane and Hulk dropped in beside him. This isn't time, Jane whispered. its consequence. Something shifted in the root, a heartbeat. Then came the voice. "Welcome back, Peter Parker." Loki stepped out from behind a root arch twisted like a ribcage. But this Loki was not flesh. He was made of light, shadow, memory. His form changed as he moved, crowned king in 1 second, bloodied god in the next. "I've seen 1,000 versions of you," Loki said softly. "In every one, you died too late." Peter stepped forward. "Then I'll try dying earlier." Loki laughed. "Oh no, you're not here to die. You're here to merge." The roots responded. Peter felt the blood in his arms pulse, burn, tighten like it remembered something ancient. Hulk groaned beside him, gripping his chest. Jane's eyes widened. "It's reacting to the parasite," she said. "It's calling it home." Peter collapsed to his knees as the roots wrapped around his legs. Not hostile, curious, like vines trying to read his blood. "I can feel it," Peter whispered. "All the futures." Loki circled him. "That's the World Root's gift. It doesn't show you what's next. It shows you what can't be undone." Peter saw flashes. Himself, kneeling before Odin's corpse, holding Jane's corrupted hammer, standing alone on a burning earth. Then something changed. He saw another version. Himself standing over Loki's broken scepter. Jane alive. Thor alive. A timeline where he chose not to run. He stood slowly. "You're wrong." Loki's eyes narrowed. "You don't win in every future," Peter said. "You only win when I let you pick the path." Loki raised the scepter, aiming it at Peter's chest. "Then let's pick one now." Before he could fire, Hulk charged, grabbing Loki and slamming him through a wall of root so hard the entire realm groaned. Jane summoned her staff, lighting up the network with blinding blue-white energy. Peter stepped into the chaos, but he didn't fight. He bled. He pulled off the wrap on his arm and pressed his hand against the world root. The roots surged. They lit up like veins in the sun, gold, green, red. His blood didn't just sink. It overwrote. The parasite inside Hulk flared, then burned out of his chest in a burst of steam. Jane's corrupted hammer, summoned by Loki, cracked in midair. The roots screamed. Loki reappeared, this time weakened. "No," Loki gasped. "You can't. You're not meant to control it." Peter's voice echoed through the realm. "I'm not, but I chose to carry it." Behind him, Thor stepped through the gate. "You're not alone," he said, raising Mjolnir. Peter faced Loki. "We rewrite this, right now." And as lightning clashed with root light and Spider-Man's blood fused with time, the world root blinked. The world root screamed, not in sound, but in light. It cracked like lightning across a living sky. Threads of reality trembled, rewrote, reformed, then snapped. The roots recoiled from Peter, glowing red-hot. His blood wasn't sinking anymore. It was rewriting. Loki stumbled backward, face blistering with time burn. He raised his scepter to strike one last time, only for Mjolnir to slam through his ribs like a thunderbolt made of judgment. Thor caught the hammer on the return. Loki dropped. But it wasn't over. The world root pulsed again, this time angrier, rejecting the rewrite. It began to collapse inward, not just the root, but every connected timeline. A final failsafe. If it couldn't control the future, it would erase them all. Jane looked up. "It's purging everything." Peter fell to his knees. "Then I'll hold it open." Thor turned. "No." Peter's arms lit up, his veins like glowing wires. The hybrid blood inside him, Hulk's parasite, cosmic energy, Asgardian signature, was still active, still rewriting. "I can stabilize it," Peter said, trembling. "But only if I stay connected." "That means—" "No," Thor said again. Hulk stood tall. "He's right. He's the bridge now. We break the link, everything collapses." Jane's voice broke. "There has to be another way." Peter smiled, blood dripping from his nose. "Maybe in another future." He reached toward the core. But just before he touched it, Thor grabbed his wrist. "No one dies today." In one motion, Thor pulled Mjolnir, whispered a word only Odin ever spoke, and struck the root, not to destroy it, but to transfer the blood's signature into the hammer. A blast of gold and red light surged through the world root. The energy left Peter's body like smoke pulled by wind. Mjolnir absorbed it, its surface cracking with new veins. Half Asgardian, half human. The world root paused, stabilized. The timelines stopped collapsing. The roots dimmed. The skies above froze. Loki gasped from the ground. "You fools, you've unanchored it. Now it has no fate." Thor looked down at him. "That's the point." With one final strike, Mjolnir shattered Loki's scepter. The last tether broke, and the world root closed. Silence. Peter dropped, breathing hard, alive. His body light again. The blood was gone. The hybrid erased. Jane knelt beside him. "You're free." He smiled weakly. "About time." Thor stepped back, staring at Mjolnir. "It's changed." The hammer now pulsed with a soft red glow, quiet, but eternal. Hulk looked at it. "So whose future is it now?" Thor grinned. "One we choose." The gate behind them reopened. The council's chamber returned. Wong waited on the other side. "Is it done?" Thor nodded. "It's begun." They stepped through, leaving the world root behind. In a realm that now had no destiny, only possibility. The end.